Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video. So you join me where I'm just about to fit the G-Wing to the back of my car. So for anyone that saw the unboxing video, I've actually replacing the existing wing because it was a prototype one on the car, and actually had a brand new one from Orranje Performance, which I'm now going to be fitting to the car. So this video will cover the construction of the wing, drilling the holes, and actually fitting it to the car yourself, and any tips or hints that I've learned along the way. So I've fitted a few of these in my time, so it's really easy to fit them. So we'll cover all those steps and show you the end product. So let's jump straight in now to actually building the wing itself. Okay, so for this first step of building the sides, you're going to need your little brackets, so your metal brackets, these neoprene gaskets, these other neoprene gaskets, and the 4 little bolts. So you could use an Allen key. I've just managed to get the right size Torx screwdrivers, so I've got those to hand. So I only need the small one for this step. So this one is a T10, but like I say, you can use a Allen key as well. So the purpose of this is we're going to be sticking these gaskets on. Then we're actually going to be putting these brackets and mounting these onto the sides as well. So we'll do one at a time. So first of all, if we take the one side, make sure you've got the right neoprene gasket. It just fits just in the recess there. If you can see that. That's all you want to do. Ensure this is all clean. And then peel the backing off. There you go. And they're not super sticky, so if you do get it slightly out of adjustment, you've got a bit of play and you can sort of lift it up. So that's perfect. And you just make sure you get your press all the way around. So if you see these holes in the gasket, that's purely because these gaskets are actually used for the adjustable spoiler as well. So it's used for a couple of different products. We've not got the adjustable one. This is the fixed wing, so it just doesn't use this hole at the front. Okay, so we've got that gasket in there. Next we want to get our bracket, and if you're looking at the bracket, you want the side with the threads facing upwards, basically, so like that. So if you're looking at the L shape, that's facing downwards, and you bolt in from underneath. And this is where we've seen an improvement in the product, and is the fact, so there are little threaded sections in here, so that's something that wasn't on the early products that they've now improved and added in. So it means you can undo these and do them up, you get them in the right location. Previously there was just a little indentation, so all you need to do is start threading that in. And obviously because there's a threaded section, this is nice and easy, you know you're getting it in the right location, you're not forcing it in. So let's get both in first before we start to do them up. So again, just get that second bolt in and up. And what you'll find is, although there's a slit in that gasket, this bracket is actually designed to sit over the top of the gasket, so don't worry too much. And what I would say is, because there's a little slit here, there is actually some movement left to right. So if you centre that, and then we can take a look when it's on the car at the alignment. And because these have got the threaded sections, they're not just screws in to the side, you can actually adjust it by just loosening off these and doing them up. So again, let's get that bolt done up. And you forget how easy it is to actually put one of these wings together. And the good thing is, I've worked with lots of parts over the years, fiberglass wings. I mean, the wing on my R56, for example, if you watch the video on that, there could potentially be hours worth of work to repair that wing to get it fitted to the car. This, just because I'm talking through, it's going to look a little longer, but actually the process of putting the wing together and getting it on the car. So what you want to do is tighten these up, not too tight that you pull the threaded section out, but enough that that bracket's nice and solid. So I want to make sure there's no wiggle or movement in it, but again, don't over tighten them. There you go. So that's that in. So that was nice and easy, and we've just got to do the same on the other side. So while we look at it, we've also got these as well that we need to get attached here. So if you look, we'll show you a bit of a close-up. You've got the cutout that fits around. That's super easy to install and just needs to go on there. Previously there were versions where you stuck it on the glass. Now they've improved the design and you actually stick it on the wing end, and this just rests against the glass basically, so the foam side sits against the glass and just stops there from being any sort of noise or movement and provides that nice finish to the product. Okay, one thing to note with these gaskets is one end of them does actually have a little wiggle on it, and if you look at the wing itself, or not the wing, sorry, the side bracket, there's a little wiggle at the top, at the very top edge there, if you can see, sort of wiggles out. So you make sure these gaskets are actually sided, that you put the one, as I describe, a little wiggle on it at the right end. Okay, so we're going to start by starting to peel off the backing, and then it's a case of, before you peel it off completely, is just line it up and make sure you know how it fits. Then peel off the first part, so don't peel off the whole lot, and just try and get that in position. They're not super sticky, so again you've got that bit of movement if you've not got it quite right before you actually press it down and stick it in place. And just check, obviously, for the length that you've stuck it in the right place. If so, start to peel off the backing and start to apply that gasket. And press that all the way along so that's in place. That's a really nice touch actually, something I haven't seen previously, so it's nice to actually see that Orranje have included those. So we've got to do that on the other side now, so let's repeat that process. And that's your two wing sides built. So from what I understand, the next step is to actually take these to the car, line them up with the car, and actually mark where you need to drill your holes in your boot lid. So we'll go and do that next on my car. Okay, so you join me outside with the R53. So one thing you're going to have to do before fitting the G-Wing to prep the car is to actually take a look at the spoiler that's on the back. So if you've got a Mini 1, you're absolutely fine. This is actually a Mini 1 spoiler on the back of my R53. If you've got a Cooper S, you're actually going to have to remove that. Now there's lots of videos on how to remove those. It's literally simply 2 bolts either end and a load of sticky tape sticking the R53 stock spoiler on. The problem you've got is with the stock S spoiler is it actually sticks out too much and hits the G-Wing. So you're going to have to remove that. Now you've got a couple of options. You could remove it, and underneath you've got holes at either end of the boot lid, which you can have filled, or put a little vinyl sticker over them, a little black vinyl sticker just to cover them, so it takes your eye off the hole and the fact it's there. Or like me, you can buy a Mini 1 now. There's loads of Mini 1s being broken all the time. You can buy a Mini 1 spoiler and actually fit that to the back of your car. But that's one thing to remember when you're going for a G-Wing, is that you are going to lose that S spoiler and you're going to have to do something about it. Okay, so another part I wanted to address is on your car there'll be a plastic piece of trim that runs down the side of this glass. Again, you've got a couple of options that you can do when you're fitting the wing. So I've actually just removed that piece of black plastic trim. So it's gloss black and it just sticks over that edge. It's not needed, and all it will do is potentially give you the chance to rub against the sides of this. So there are a couple of things you can do. you can either warm the glue up and move it across as far as you can, or trim it down slightly. Or the easiest option for me is just to remove it. I've never had a problem. It doesn't cause extra water to leak or anything like that, because these channels are designed to flow water out and down onto the top of the bumper, so you're not going to have any issues with any water leaking in or anything. So for me, the easiest option is just to remove that piece of plastic. When you look at your car, and I'll put a picture up on the screen now, you'll see which black plastic trim I'm talking about. Okay, so the next part is actually marking up your holes. Now, I've obviously had a G-wing fitted to my car previously, so you can see I've actually already got the drill holes and the threaded sections in to actually fit the G-wing. But if you're starting from afresh, here's some tips on actually getting these in the right place. So you've obviously built your side in the previous step. What you want to do is hook that over the glass, so your sponge section, your foam section sits on the back of the glass, and you can see these brackets now touch the side of your boot. Now you've got a piece of plastic trim at the top here. If you put your wing against that all the way to the top, 99% of the time that's going to rub and you're going to hear squeaking. So what you want to do is actually move it down the glass slightly. Orange recommend about 10 mil. I think I've got about a finger's space in there. So roughly about there. And you can see that's now where your bracket lines up. So on your car, you'd get a marker pen. You'd actually mark a circle in there, and that would leave a little pen mark here and here, so you know exactly where you need to drill for your bracket. So I'll explain how you drill these in next. On your car here, you're going to have two little pen marks, and what you're going to want to do, first of all, get a centre hole punch, so you make a little dent here and here so that your drill doesn't wander everywhere. Next, you're going to want to drill through, and you'll drill through your boot lid exactly where those dots are, and you'll go through, and as soon as you feel that go through, stop drilling, just in case there's any cabling or anything behind here. So you want to drill through just enough to get the hole in. Okay, so once you've got holes there and there, obviously I've still got the inserts in from when I previously had a spoiler, so you're going to need one of these tools next. You can get them cheap online, and all you need to do is actually put that comes with the wing on the end of it, insert that all the way in the hole as far as you can. Then all you do is crush that, and what will happen is that will actually crush up and grip to the back of the metal. Now what I'll do is I'll go and grab a piece of spare metal, drill a hole, and actually show you how this works. Okay, so let's pretend this is the hole. So we've got our drill, we've drilled through, and we've drilled through your side of your boot lid, so that's the hole for your spoiler. What we need to do is you take your tool, screw that all the way onto the end so it's touching here, and then you insert that through. So if we change the camera angle, you can now see here that it's slotted through the metal, and with the crimping action of the tool, this metal will actually crush and grip to the back of here. So I'm going to bring the camera down and then actually show the tool working, so you can actually see this crushing action. Okay, so hopefully you can see now, if we press that down, you'll see as I start to squeeze this tool, this piece of metal here should actually crush to the bottom. Okay, you can see that's starting to pull. So what you do is you keep pressing on the tool. And you can see that's actually crushed the section. You can see now it's actually crushed onto the back of that piece of metal, and now that threaded section in the tool needs to come out. Okay, so now we're here and we've crushed that bottom section on. All we need to do is rotate this, and what that's doing is, because we've threaded onto the end of that, we're just now unbolting it as if we were unbolting a bolt literally out of it. So let's keep rotating that. You can now see we're starting to lift away, and soon we'll be free. There you go. And what we'll do, let's bring the camera in close. You should be able to see in there now a threaded section. So this is your boot lid, this piece of metal here. You've now got a threaded section that you can put a bolt through. Let's see if I've got a bolt in my pocket that we can use. There you go. So you'll see now we've got a threaded section that we could thread that bolt into. Perfect. So that will give us a really strong fixing. So if we look at that again, you can see that's the threaded section we're bolting into. There's a little crush bit that holds it in place. It's a really useful tool. If you invest in one for your G-Wing, I can guarantee they're not expensive. I think they're probably only £10 or something like that. You will use it again when you fit in other parts to the car, because it allows you to get a threaded section in any piece of metal that you've got on the car or anywhere else. Okay, so the next part of the install is the wing itself. So once you've made all the marks on the car that you need to, drilled all the holes, got all your RIVNUTs in, and you're ready to bolt up, you've removed your spoiler and done whatever you need to, you need to construct the wing. So it's really simple actually. So, and the product's changed completely since I last installed one of these, and it's gone together so much easier. So it's a big thumbs up to Orranje in terms of the real quality of actually how this wing goes together now. So what you're simply going to be doing is the wing bends away from the car. So this is basically the front edge where you've got this circle. You make sure that your ends slot on exactly like that, and then we bolt in from above. So I'm going to bring you in closer so I can show you actually how these fit together. Okay, so we've now got everything on the table that we need to put this spoiler end on. So as I've said, this is the back of the car, this is the front of the car. So this is the back of the wing, and then the bit with the bolt holes is the front. And all you do is slot it in, and all you're looking to do is line these holes up here and here. I can let go of that wing now and actually show you what we've got. So we've got like these little black caps, we've got the bolts themselves and a little washer. So stick those washers on top of the bolts first, then insert those through that black plastic, and all that does is covers up the little bolt holes once this is all together and makes it look smoother and cleaner. So what you're looking to do is line those holes up here with the little threaded sections on the brackets, and just get those done up loosely to start with, just to make sure everything's lined up. Now I know in Orrange's official instructions they say you might need to potentially bend the bracket, the metal bracket, upwards slightly to bring it closer to this edge. So we'll take a look, let's see exactly how this all goes together. You can see those are just screwing in nicely into that metal bracket that we installed. Let's get those done up. 1, 2, and that's the wing on. So all you do is when you fit it to the car is pop those little covers on and just make sure, give it a wiggle, make sure it's all nice and solid and tight, and that's your wing end on. We'll do the same at the other end. Okay, so we've got the other end on the table now, so let's pop those on. So we don't need to adjust those anymore. Switch the wing around. So we've now switched the orientation of the wing, so let's remember to slot that one on, and again we can see those holes line up perfectly. So what do? What's the order? It's washer first, then these black caps. We do the same, washer, and then into the black cap, so it's actually recessed in there. You can see the flat edges at the bottom, the recessed edges at the top. Now let's get that bolted in. Let's do the front hole first. That's one, and again don't do it up tight. You don't need to go too tight, you just do it so it's gripped, and again you can adjust this once it's on the car, because it's all accessible when the spoiler's fitted. So you can see now that spoiler side's on. You can pop those little caps on if you want to, and that's your wing built. Okay, so you can see that's your G-Wing built and ready to go. So simple to go together, literally 4 bolts now, and that's it, it's on the car. So One thing I am going to do is actually fit my little orange sticker there. So we'll go grab that and get that stuck. Okay, so the next step's nice and easy. Now it's entirely up to you which way that you put the orientation of the sticker. I'm thinking this is the front edge, so I'm going to orientate it that way, and you can just get that in the centre and on with that logo. And for me, having that orange branding there is the stamp of approval. That's this is a genuine orange G-wing. It's not one of the replicas. This is the original, and for me the best quality ones out there. Okay, so we're nearly ready to get the wing on. So the official instructions say to remove this top lip. So what we'll do, that just pulls off, nice and easy, super simple to get that off. Now this is where you're probably going to need a second pair of hands. It is possible to do it by yourself, but it's so much easier getting someone else. So I'm going to actually ask my wife to just come out and just hold the end of the wing so we can slide it on from the top down and onto the car. And then all you do is you line it up with the bolt holes, get your 4 bolts in, and you're pretty much there with the install. Okay, so next we're going to open up the boot and actually slide it onto the car. So you slide it down over here and just line it up with the bolt holes. Okay, so all we're doing now is lining it up with the holes here. So lift it up. This is where I say it just needs 2 people, just so you're not putting too much strain on the wing itself. Get that so it's lined up. You can see that's perfect. Okay, at this point you want to make sure your foam gasket's sandwiched in between the glass and this, and that your holes are lined up. You've got your bolts, and just get those done up if you can. Just finger tight into the threaded sections that you put in your boot. Make sure you've got a towel or something here so you're protecting it, so if the wing did drop you're not going to dent your roof. Then get the second bolt and just make sure that does up before you start tightening it up with the socket. Okay, so we're nearly there now, so we're just going to do these up. Get those done up. Do those up. You do it with an Allen key or a wrench, whatever you've got to hand. Right, and you'll know when they're done. There's like a spacer, plastic spacer type lip on the inside. That'll press against the boot of the car. So that's done. You don't want to over tighten it. And what we'll do is the first time we close the boot, we'll be really gentle. So let's go the other side and tighten that up. Okay, so we use the same socket at this end. Okay, so that's the bolts done up. Okay, so we're nearly done. We've just got to put our plastic trim back on. And all we do, make sure it's centred, that there's an even gap this end and this end. And that just pushes back in place. And that's our G-wing fitted to the car. Okay, hopefully you found today's video useful. If you did, please hit that like button, it really helps the channel. And if you want notifications whenever we upload new content around minis, the BRZ, the F56, etc., just hit that subscribe button and hit the little notification bell, and you'll get alerts every time we upload new content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Threaded bits, and there's actually little holes on the bottom.